not due to the illness, but the emotional crackdown. And if anybody suffered from the corona, he has been admitted in the hospital. Even a relatives cannot talk. Even you have come across the news, 5 or 6 year of children are affected by corona, even in the newborn, and in the hospital they are alone. So this is the situation in the illness. You have seen the hospitals are flooded. Hospitals are flooded. Hospitals are flooded with the patients. These are the some impact. Other things, as you seen here, hostile over. Corona has created our not only with the corona, but even the neighbors are very much hostile. Everybody is afraid. Everybody is suspicious with each other. The other things, in case of corona, yes, domestic violence has increased enormously. You can see on the screen, we have given the figure of about what is the dimension of collapse in the various domestic violence. It is there. The other things, economically, collapse of local retail relationship. We have practiced how we are going to purchase from the local vendors. About cyber crime, the students' career uncertainty. This is the other things. All of us have come in. We are facing this situation. Somewhere exam, there is no exam, online exam. How you can going to evaluate their papers? So this all the things created a stress to the students. Moreover, not only the students, we all, the person who is either teacher, either administrator, either worker, who is related with the university and colleges, they are suffering from the stress of switch over technology. As we have faced in the very beginning, how this technology is going to create problem for us. Previously, we are offline. Now everything we have to do the online. So and this and so always technology barrier. So this is the other dimensions of the problem. Now come to the economic impact. What is the economic impact? Economic impact, sir, when we are going to analyze, you will see the labor intensive and space specific industries have more impact. I have used the word labor intensive and space specific. Labor intensive, the manufacturing sector, or the hotels, tourism, they are most reflected and most affected by this. And this reflected in terms of growth and increase in unemployment. We have seen how the growth rate has reduced. Growth reduced to 4.5 quarter. So even it is going to reduce the quarter of financial 2020 3.1. Here I would like to say something. There, when this growth rate issue have come, there is some discussion among the economists whether growth rate is the indicator. Before this effect in the way before this corona, the growth rate of India is decreasing. So there is a number of debates, and this debate is not new one. This is a very old debate in among the economists whether growth rate is to what extent going to affect the growth rate, the living standard. But one thing is very clear: there is a direct relation between the growth rate and the employment. When growth rate is reduced, employment is going to be reduced. When growth rate increased, the employment is also going to increase. But in between there is a time lag. This time lag is a very much important place in economic discussion. When growth rate going to increase, after some times employment going to decrease. In past we have the experience when even the growth rate has increased, friends, employment has not increased. This is a very long, if you're going to make analysis of the economic situation, economic condition in mind with the help of the statistics. So growth had increased, Even after that, employment had not increased. But the corona had very instantly affect the status of employment. You are, you are, you are seeing on the screen there how what is the COVID corona makes Indian employment rate jump up to 23.5%. What is the status in the 2017? Now it is 2020. You have seen it. A rough estimate of about 40 crore people have lost employment. There, this is. Are you hearing? Yeah. Are you getting me? Okay. So salary cut and partly postponed of the payment is the other problem. Even you will know,
You carry
you will
on.
surprise. Even the government has introduced the salary cut. Private sector, all of us know what is the situation. Most of the organization in the manufacturing sector, they have just the lockdown has been announced. They have asked the employees to go. So 3 to 4 months they are not getting the salary. Some of the situation in other sector also, if no one, some of these are introduced 30%, 40% salary cut. So this is the impact of this salary cut. Then supply chain, as we put under the pressure, travel and tourism and hospitality have taken a major hit. Major companies like Tata Motors, Larsen Turbo, Bharat Forge have significantly reduced operation because these manufacturing companies, they are more labor intensive and space specific. As you have seen here, the CRISIL, it is a credit rating information service of India. They have mentioned India worst recession since independence. They have used the word since worst recession since independence. So now the question is how we are going to respond this situation of recession. You, you are seeing here on the screen, even there is no doubt that India economy is recession, and you will know that Ghuram Rajan, ex-governor of RBI, what he has mentioned. Economically speaking, India is the greatest emergency since independence. He has used the word economic emergency. Now, at present, the economic condition is just like an economic emergency situation. So, how we can counter it? This is the 100 million question there. How you are going to overcome on the recession? Friends, here, as students of economics, I will take a leaf from the economic thinkers. How we have to attack in this recession, how we have to restrict the trend of recession. So here we have mentioned, as you've seen here, two theory, sun spot and under consumption. One of the theory of sun spots is the business cycle, because recession is a part of the moment recession comes, we have to go through the business cycle. So this is the oldest theory given by Sir Jevons. The nicety of or a specificity of this theory, as mentioned, the business cycle occurs due to the sunspot. Sunspot sunspot occurs in the suns, in the nuclear blast in the sun, and this sunspot used to this sun is used to affect the weather and climatic condition on the earth, and these climatic conditions used to influence the agriculture, and then the agriculture used to influence the input output, and this finally it is used to influence the industry, and the business cycle is created. This is not now, this is the 1875 he has given. So here what is the nicety of this theory? try to understand here, friends, the nicety of this theory. The business cycle is nature created. Is nature created. Now you can call it. Now you can easily see the today's situation, Corona. In sunspot theory, Mr. Jevons might have discussed about the sunspot, the what is sunspot, climate, weather, all those things. But correctly, it is a natural intervention. Now Corona, it is natural interventions. So this is the so understand even today the Corona has affected. Corona has created a problem. Sometimes you say, Malthus has again a light. How the UN population is increased, how nature is going to intervene. So the Corona is going to intervene in the same way, business cycle. That you will surprised to know is some of the articles, some of the cuttings, blogs come in the social media. The Corona is going to vanish after some time automatically. Cycle is also going to vanish. So nature intervention, just like business cycle, just like sunspot theory, after sometimes nature is going to cure. People are thinking that the Corona is also going to cure. There, what will be happen in the future, nobody knows it. The second theory is underconsumption. Underconsumption theory has come into again in 30 as a student. All of economics, all of you know about the 1930s depression. How this 1930 depression took place? The 1930 depression is the major depression was the declining in the demand. Why the declining of the demand? This is other reason that I'm not going to discuss here. But before 1930 depression, two things had happened. In 1977 industrial revolution, that is the from economy has switched over from your craft system production, the factory system production. At the same time, it, as a economics, you might have the father of economics, Adam Smith's book, his well-renowned book has come, an inquiry to the nature and causes of wealth of nation. This book is worthwhile to read for all the students of economics. In that book, he has first time introduced the concept of labor efficiency. How we can increase the labor efficiency? He has given concept of divisional labor, and that his concept of increasing the efficiency has been implemented in the organization. So the too much production there. This is one aspect. He has given example of simple pin. When you are producing the pin, just by just the total process of manufacture of pin, you can divide in a small step. After getting the specialization, you can increase the efficiency. At the same time, JB say was also there with the laws of economics. Everybody know that this says law of market. Every supply creates zero demand. So the effects of those two things have caused the 1930 depression, but the reason of 1930 depression of underconsumption. Why I am mentioning these two things, friends? Now we are going to see, we have these two learning. If you would like to attack on the recession, not only by the industrial sector, we have to also take care of the agriculture sector. Agriculture and industry has a very direct relationship. What happens in the agriculture is going to affect the industry also. So this is the here from theory as economist we have come to or controlling, restricting the recession. We have to see, we have to intervene in the agriculture as well as industry. Just only by intervening industry, we cannot control it. Only by intervening the agriculture, agriculture, we cannot restrict the risk. Now, overall economic image here, in government, Indian government going to conceptually for economists, 3: money policy, push and pull approach, and ease of doing business. This is 3 things the government have adopted. Pump money, pumping the money means from here you are going to get the demand. You have to increase the market in the economy. It is going to create the demand. And as a pump money policy, you see here, the RBI has made it 324,000 for the push and pull approach. You have to push. MSMEs needs to be pushed, and it is pull and pull approach. Business sector is getting the demand pull. Demand is going to increase. They are going to get the stimulus from the market. Automatically, they are going to increase their position. As we have seen here, now we have mentioned here various stimulus to the agricultural sector, and this is already available on the net there. But what is the nice here? What is the change of this time when this government has given agriculture sector? Something new there. What is the change from the previous, before COVID and after the COVID? 2 things here you will. As 1 lakh crore agri infrastructure package for efficient post-harvest management of crops. This time, my government is too much emphasizing the post-harvest management. And so after the harvesting of the, what are the facilities they need? Just like warehousing, cold storage, all those things. 1 lakh crore to farmers, producers, organization, cooperative, and starters. Here, farmers, producers, organizations, not only just farmers, the traditional startups, anybody is coming, making the squares, making the juice, how we are going to increase the life of the agriculture produce. The third point, it is a facility, first time there. The 10,000 crore fund to support 2 lakh micro food enterprises for promoting, or here this point, the first time this is a 2 lakh micro food enterprises for promoting health and wellness. This time, for health and wellness, herbal, organic and nutritional product.
I request the participants
to policy. We are only emphasizing the traditional sector of the agriculture. Here now from this, here we are going. Government is going to emphasize the herbal product, organic products, nutritional product along the bank of Ganga. A corridor of medicinal plants we developed 800 hectares area. Now we have, this is the change, the policy level changes in the government. Second, last one you see here, the other changes there are 500 crore operation greens. Till now the operation greens has been only for 3 products: potato, tomato, and onion. Green operation, under the operation green plan, the government used to ensure that the regular supply of these 3 items in the economy in the urban areas. So now this operation green has been extended to the green vegetable, the fruits. So this is the some changes. What is not before the COVID? After the COVID, there are the 3 changes had been introduced by the government to the agri sector. Now, stimulus to SMEs. SMEs have an, the SMEs is a very backbone of our Indian economy. Just in agriculture, we used to say the 70% of our income come from the agriculture, or 70% of population based on the agriculture. In the same way, 70% of our organized forces in the SMEs. SMEs is going used to create employment as a direct employment and as an indirect employment. It used to create. It is used to create. It used to pump the money in the economy. Gives period. So in the lockdown, SME has the more sufferer. Why? You see the concept we have mentioned economy, because the SM is also a space labor intensive and a space specific. SM is so for this sector, government has announced a very big package. First thing you see here as a conceptual is for SME, the redefinition, the definition, existing and revised definitions. Previous to this, the SMEs has classified as two sectors, manufacturing and service. There are these two sectors for the manufacturing and service. Now the government has clubbed these. Manufacturing and service now one. I think previously it was only investment. Try to see here only investment. Under the new definition, investment as well as turnover. This is the great changes here in at policy level. Before this, all the benefits only related to invest. Suppose a company has 1 crore investment, they are considered as SMEs, MSMEs, but and get the benefit of the government. Now no. Now the government has investment as well as turnover. So this is people used to say it, this is a leakage proof. If any companies, if any SMEs, then in just as happened in the past, the people used to establish taking the loan and going away from the market. No. Now for SMEs, if you like to take the initiation of the government, there in the this is for existing. Your assistance is linked with your turnover. This is the distinctive feature of this. Other things we have already seen here. They are 3 lakhs crore collateral free, automatic loans for SMEs. It was only in this policy the amount has been increased, 50 crores. The one new things have been introduced here for SMEs also. It is the 20 crore subordinate debts. Subordinate debts. The person who is from the finance background, they know about the subordinate debts. Previously, subordinate debts are only for the corporate sector. Subordinate debts are not for the SMEs. So these subordinate debts, the subordinate, it is known as this unsecured loan. If suppose any unit is going to be liquidated after making the payment of all the debt, then only subordinate debt is going to be paid. So this is the one. The new changes, new stimulus for the stimulus sector. 20 crore subordinate debt. In the same way, the over limit has also increased. Previously, it was 10 crore for SMEs. Now it has increased to 100 crores. Even suppose now is even a company, even an entrepreneur is making a proposal of 100, which comes under the SMEs. So this is all the things about the SMEs. Now, labor reform. Before discussing the labor reform, you can see on a screen ranking of the business age in India. In India, 40 central labor laws, 200 state elected laws demotivates to set up and run the business. And you see, the situation has been improved. It is 132 to come 77. The ranking, increased ranking of the Even after that, you can imagine what is our status in the world. 76 country in the world. We are telling, we are changing, we are challenging, you are going to be the best economic power in the world. Like we have the imagination. But even after that, India is on 77 rank, means 76 countries is more comfortable for any industrials, for FDIs, any people can invest there. This is the situation there. So now in this situation, the state government on their own, they are making the labor law reforms, and we have seen here the UP government, they have already an ordinance where they have mentioned all the rules, all they are going to be suspended except 3. All the labor laws has been suspended. Only 3 labor laws is now applicable. The same as also as I am, Rajasthan is also going to implement, Punjab is also going to implement. So this now you see, yes, opportunities come. Till now we have discussed about the how this COVID-19, what is COVID-19, how it has affected socio-psychological condition, how it affected economic, what is government has taken the intervention, government taken the approach. Opportunities are created through organization, friends. And if opportunity is not coming in the air, opportunity is coming through the organizations only. And organizations are created or renovated to fulfill the human requirements. Organizations, when the changes in the human requirements, when the changes in human wants to fulfill the organizations are created or renovated. By renovation, we mean the changing of the organizations, changing the organization's culture, changing of the organization produce, all those things. Opportunities are for entrepreneurs. Always remember, friends. Opportunities are not for who is not entrepreneur. If any opportunity is created, given, then somebody has to grab. And who is going to grab? Only grab. Who is going to grab the opportunity? That is entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs is considered as one of the factor of production. After one of the 5 factor of production, entrepreneur today we know the entrepreneur is who takes the risk mainly. But you know, the entrepreneur in JV say, he has mentioned, the entrepreneur is a person who is transforming the resources from less productive to more productive. This is entrepreneur. Yeah. Yes, COVID has created a lot of problem, but it created opportunity also, friends. We know every crisis has opportunity. Now it depends on us how we are going to convert this crisis into capital. So first here, opportunity has been created in the various sectors. So first, since I belong to the education sector, so first I am discussing here what is the opportunities in education sector. First opportunity has been created by this COVID, new opportunity, online education. Now we have seen how the online education has been popularized. App-based, web-based, software-based. So app-based, web-based, software-based is okay, but how this has created, but how it is going to create an opportunity? Now, for app-based, web-based, yes, the IT people, they have been involved in developing app, new invention of the app, creating web, software. But even for the non-IT people, they can also think for the content writing, content development writing. For online education, we have a different type of the content, not just like offline, what we are doing in the classroom teaching. there. When the online education is online for online education. So this is a huge market, huge demand for the content development and writing. Digital marketing. Now the digital marketing, the opportunity is not opportunity for the educational institution. You have seen here different type of the programs for the digital marketing. There, new training programs. Some of the universities have launched the new courses also. Even some in the PGDBM colleges, the ICT approved, who has not affiliated to the university, autonomous institutions, they have launched full 2 years program on the digital marketing. That this is a startup funding. Friends, this is the new area where the even the students of economics can thought. So you have to prepare a project for a startup funding. Any startup industry, when they are going where they are approaching the bank for taking the loans, first thing they have to make the proposal. This a startup proposal itself a very great business. Again, there what are the sources of fund? How we are going to give him the consultancy? This is the other area of the business. IT-based infrastructure development in education sector. Also, friends, this is a very good area. Now, that is the other story. When IT-based some 10 years ago, when we are discussing in our colleges, we need virtual classroom. From virtual classroom, we can give lecture. Nowadays, all the faculties, all the employees, all the teacher, everybody has residence become the virtual classroom. No classroom, a specific classroom. We are from house. Everybody, all of you are from your home. Though this change has taken place, even though area is IT industry, hardware marketing and maintenance. Everybody knows it. How this is medical and pharmacy. This COVID has given a lot of opportunity for medical and pharmacy. All those things sanitize, all those things you leave it. Sometime I was discussing with my engineering friends. Now, why not everybody, all the housing cooperative societies, go for the sanitization tunnel? All the hard sanitization tunnels, every cooperative housing society car is coming. When the car is crossing to it, they have to go for the sanitization. The cinema hall, the big on the road. Sometimes you hear the oxygen mask in foreign countries. When the air is polluted, oxygen mask. So leave it to the oxygen mask. Now you should roll sanitization tunnel. Even your highway, when the toll nakas are there, they can be converted into sanitization tunnel. When the car or any vehicle is crossing with them, they automatically sanitize. This is the one area. The other area is for the fitness industry. Fitness industry, there is the Ayurvedic medicine, what is called the alternate treatment. COVID has given a good opportunity for the alternate treatment. Then the delivery waste industry, you have already seen how the delivery system has been collapsed. Rural sector has a huge opportunity. Warehousing and cold storage, livestock fishery and dairy development, processing, agri equipments, white production, mobile charging, mobile repairs, fridge repair, all these opportunity there.
Professor
These
sir,
these are the opportunities.
Professor sir,
Yes.
sir, we have 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to complete it. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, sir.
Thank you. I'm going to complete it. Yes. The 14 minutes will complete. Challenges. All those challenges are there. So challenges in operational and strategic. First thing, operational challenges. The major operational challenge of workplace management. When anybody is going to work at the workplace, work social distancing, how they this workplace management, the strategic challenges, how we are going to address the whole globalization. We are seeing how the globalization is coming. Ensuring stabilization, how we are going to. This is a strategic issue. Now, this is the issues and conclusion.
చాలా డిస్టర్బెన్స్
2 to 3 months.
సార్ మ్యూట్ చేసుకోండి. I request all the participants, please cooperate with me. Please mute yourself. I think by mistakenly you have unmuted. ఇంట్లో జరిగే విషయాలు సౌండ్స్ అన్ని వస్తున్నాయి. It is very difficult to listen. Thank you, Professor. You can continue, sir.
At the end of the webinar, so we are going to discuss the issues. So during this various what you have seen the government initiative. Atmanirbhar on the self-independent, whether self-reliance is away. Some people are mentioning there we have to just make restriction all the foreign products. No. While discussing the Atmanirbhar and Parnirbhar, Atmanirbhar, our finance minister mentioned very clearly, self-reliance does not mean cutting from the rest of the world. Our communication minister mentioned self-reliance does not mean isolating away from the world. FDI is welcome, technology is welcome. Atmanirbhar is a long-term policy.
వెంకట లక్ష్మి ఎవరు?
Recently, PM has explained on 18th June what is Atmanirbhar.
మోహన్
By Atmanirbhar, PM is to decrease the import, to save foreign exchange, reform in the coal sector. Hence, Atmanirbhar, well, is a point of discussion among the economists from the very beginning. Not this time, our Prime Minister has given Atmanirbhar issue. Even at the time of 4th or 5th 5-year plan, when we have the planning commission, now we have no planning commission, now we have Niti Aayog. At that time also, the thought has come, the self-reliance. And one of the great economists, P.R. Brahman, in his book, Planning for Futureless Economy, he has given 5 dimensions of Atmanirbhar. What is the meaning of Atmanirbhar? One thing about the according to his definition, Atmanirbhar means a falling proportion till now. Today, the peoples are emphasizing only imports as an indicator of Atmanirbhar. But P.R. Brahmanand mentions Atmanirbhar means the falling proportion of imports and exports to total GNP. This is a matter of discussion that we discuss, that you can see in the books. The other issue is Dan versus Kam. Now, Dan versus Kam. Some of the nowadays, some of the persons suggested
Mute
Why you are
your-
not giving the donation? You know the dam is donation. But the policy now, the controversy is there. Dan is considered, the Dan means giving anything without doing any work. So it is one of, they are arguing that if you are going to pump the money in the economy, the rural areas especially, the economy will revive. But let us friend here mention Dan versus Kam. Even the Lord Keynes, who is the known as this deficit financing or giving the loan. In his book, General Theory, he mentioned even the government has give something to pump the money, he should give only through the work. He has given an example, digging and filling. You give money, if you even if you have no work, give money to the person, but he should work, he should dig, and again he should fill. So he should dig, again he should fill. So without work, no money. Donation, no. In the economic concept, there is no place for donation. There just for reviving the economy. Yes, you pump through the yes, like for present government. When they are giving, when they are pumping money to the railway sector, Manrega, yes, Manrega, even we have no people are asking, they are giving some of the data. If Manrega, we are going to calculate how many working days has been created, all the ponds, river, whatever, everything has existed, they exhausted in the rural area. No. Even you do the repair work, same road, again repair, same road, again make improvement. But the people have to work. This is first thing. Second issue is job versus income. Friends say, now this whether now this labor reforms had put a question on this issue. Because till now, India, we have very much more job security there. So now, if the job security is restricting the people to invest, as I mentioned in the very beginning, there how it has demotivated. So now the issue is the job. If we are going to liberalize, we are going to make the report, people may have to change the job, but their income is, they are going to get the more opportunities. This is other issues of the discussion. Job versus income there. Life versus livelihood, jaan hai to jahan hai, everybody we have already discussed. Nowadays we have in the newspaper everywhere.
सही है सर.
Rational versus emotional. Rational. When we are taking the rational decision, we have to take the emotional decision. Yes, we have to restrict the emotion. When we are going to take the decision, we have to focus on the reason. Self versus society, how we have self-interest for societies. Last is COVID Kranti. People used to say, I always used to call COVID Kranti. COVID had become changed as a revolutionary changes. Why? When I am just discussing with some of my colleges, so my friends ask, Tiwari sir, why you are asking COVID Kranti? Then you should know the meaning of Kranti. Kranti means just 360 changes. Industrial revolution, factory to manufacturing, craft system to the factory system, Russian revolution, from workers to the so COVID Kranti, before COVID Kranti, that is home to office. Everybody is running to from office. Now, office, no. The one day before, your boss used to come in the office telling you just sit in the house and work. Offline versus online. Yes, now most of the majority of the work is going to be online versus open versus to close versus classroom versus to the distance mode educations. So that since this is 360 data changes that I used to come to Kranti. So at the end, I would like to say there, at the end, just to address, just to face this problem, just to solve this problem, challenge these issues, a young Niti Aayog Malik Wasim has told an octopus-like approach to save the economies, just like octopus. One center is there, but we have to do small invest everywhere. So this is the situation. The other thing, as we know, the Indian economy is a market-driven free economy. We are not a closed economy. We are a signatory of WTO. The opportunity will be generated through market forces only. Industries people will grab it with a determination to challenge the challenges. So with this, now I am stopping my deliberation, and thanks to all of you for your patience hearing. Okay.
Tiwari sir, excellent sir, excellent sir.
Okay.
What a updated information, and you have covered all the things. I think the next speaker will not have any chance on speaking about the Indian economy.
One thing, let me
Sir,
tell you,
sir,
the
sir, sir,
other speakers are,
sir, sir.
no, just let me, here, I'm giving some leave to them.
Okay,
The
sir.
other speakers are practitioners. They are from the industry background. So they
Okay,
have a
sir.
lot of the thing about the particular industry.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Oh,
Really, sir, I am
okay.
seeing the chat also. Everyone is saying excellent, and I am receiving the phones. Excellent, sir. Now I will hand over this presentation to our Jimmy Cotton, sir, Head Department of Economics, to go for further proceedings, sir. Sir, from my side, I thank you very much, sir. You have done an excellent session, sir. Thank you very much for coming, sir, on behalf of university and the department and the placement, sir. I thank you, sir.
ఒక 10 నిమిషాలు అంతే.
Madam, hello, principal ma'am. Am I audible to you, ma'am? Principal ma'am, hello. Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Tiwari sir, for your thought-provoking lecture and deep insights regarding impact of COVID virus on Indian economy, opportunities and challenges. Now I request, as per the schedule, we have a second research person, Dr. Ashutosh Pandey sir. So before I ask sir to speak or to deliver lecture on the topic, I invite Dr. Arjun Kumar sir, placement officer, to read the profile of Dr. Ashutosh Pandey sir. I hand over to sir.
Okay. Good afternoon again. I'm here to introduce efficient speaker, Dr. A. Pandey sir. Dr. Ashutosh Pandey sir is a data analyst and IBM SPSS trainer associated with TACE Private Limited. He did full-time PhD with MHRD scholarship in marketing domain from ABV, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior. He has past experience in marketing domain in companies like ICICI Securities Limited and Techno Ocean Private Limited. Dr. Pandey sir also has the academic experience, and his area of experience lies into subjects like services marketing, marketing research, marketing analytics, marketing management, and consumer behavior. He is a passionate researcher having research papers in ABDC and Scopus Index International Journals of Reputes. Sorry, sir, I could gather only the few things from the bigger profile. I have taken a nutshell out of this. Actually, we had a 3 or 4 pages profile. As the time is constrained, so I could make it short. Sorry if I would have left anything. Sir, we'll go ahead. And now the proceedings will be taken on by Dr. Jimmy Cotton, sir, Head Department of Economics, University PG College, Palamur University.
Thank you, Dr. Arjun Kumar, sir, for reading the profile of Dr. Ashutosh Pandey, sir. Sir has been really supportive and cooperative for the webinar, and he was always active in academic activities, encouraging the departments as well as college, and contributing his best to the university. Now I request Ashutosh Pandey, sir, to give his brief insights on the topic impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, opportunities and challenges. Now please come, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy sir, for the invitation. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You can continue. You can
Thank you. My sincere thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor Sri Rahul Bojaji and Principal Ma'am Dr. M. Noor Jahan and the patron of Registrar Sir Professor Pendi Pavan Kumar and convener Jimmy Cotton sir and all the people who have actively involved in making this webinar successful. Let's start with this topic. My topic, which has been given to me, Tiwari sir has beautifully explained, and his experience counts. So I would give a brief idea about the other things, which would be, I think, it would be beneficial for the students. So I'm sharing my PPT. Please let me know if it's clear. Okay. Is it visible by PPT? Okay. So would like to start with this impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy, opportunities and challenges. So or the institution which facilitate or play a role in order to club all these things, production, distribution and consumption. So our government, they may be playing the role of an organization or an institution to club all these things. Apart from government, other like private and public players and even the individuals like us, these are involved in the economy. So how will we measure this economic health? I will go with the GDP. So if we say GDP is a gross domestic product, which represent the total monetary value of all the final goods and services produced in a country. So this is the measuring yardstick for the economic health of a country. So if we look into the GDP of India, India is in the rank within the top five most country. If you say that US is the topmost country have on the basis of GDP, China, Japan, Germany, and then India. So as we know, if you convert it in Indian rupees, it will be coming near around 200 lakhs crores of rupees. Okay, so if we compare with other countries like US is having 21.4 US dollar trillion, approx 1600 lakhs crores of economy. So in comparison to US and China, India is far below. But still, we are hopeful, and we are saying that till to 2025, we'll be having a 5 trillion economy. But this COVID has disrupted the market. Let's see what's the difference which has been done to the market. If you see the growth rate of GDP growth rate, right from financial year 16, it was 8, and in 20, it was proposed to be 4.2. As per the current scenario, which we are seeing, the COVID situation, many of the rating agencies like CRISIL and World Bank, many of the institutions, they have forecasted that India would be having the negative growth rate, and the growth rate would fall at -5%. So this is a worrisome situation, but it's not only for India, it's a global situation. But we are talking about the India, so we should know about this GDP growth rate, coming GDP growth rate. So what are the if we understand the economy, it's all about the demand and supply. It's all about the money which we have in the hand. If we take a common example, we are in our day-to-day life, we are dealing with economy. If we take our the example of home, our mother, father, our parents, they used to manage, or we used to manage the economy. For the students, their mother, father are managing the economy. They are preparing the food, they are paying the bills, electricity bills, or the transportation fees, or the education bills. So these all are the part of economy, but they are not charging from you. But the same thing, when it is charged, it becomes the part of economy. So similarly, government is playing a role of parent. Other public and private companies are playing the role of parent in order to manage. But if you see this India's external debt, we are dealing with the international parties. We are not. We are living in the global economy, globalized world. So we are borrowing also. If suppose if we need something, we borrow from our friend, and then we pay back to them after a certain period of time if the money comes to us. Similarly, India borrows the money in the time of need, like in the COVID situation. This World Bank allowed the sanction of $1 billion this in order to look after this COVID situation. So total India is having the debt of 543 billion. This is the debt which India currently has on it. Now, India trade deficit, if we talk about the export and import deficit, like trade deficit means import bills are more than export bills. So we need to pay this much of an amount, $152.9 billion. This is the amount which has to be paid by India. So there is a decline in the COVID situation, the challenges which India is facing. Decline of 34.6% in export and 28.7% in import. What are the major things which India exports to other countries? Usually, gems, stones, the jute, textiles, these are the major cereals, wheat, meat, these are the major active components. And what are the import components? These are the like oil is a major component, and apart from it, electronic products, API, pharmaceutical industry, import API from China. So it has fallen. The reason behind fall in the demand and the restriction of supply. Now, there are three pillars of economy: primary, secondary, and the tertiary sector. Primary talks speak about the agriculture and allied sectors. Agriculture and allied, like fishing, marine, and other industries. Like secondary sector speaks about the manufacturing sector, and tertiary about the service sector. And if you'd like to know how much they invest in the economy, GDP of a country, so primary sector invest around 17% of in the GDP of a country, and secondary sector around 29%. And if you talk about the highest, that is service sector, 52%, 54% of investment contribution. So these all three sector has been disrupted due to this COVID-19 situation. So what are the various industries which has been disrupted? We will discuss here. This COVID situation has created mass unemployment in India, not only in India, overall in US also, and even in the developed countries. In India, our data says that around 14 crores of people has become unemployed in various sectors, whether it's a primary, whether it's a secondary or tertiary sector. So, how to these are the challenges. I will be discussing with the challenges faced by the primary sector during this COVID-19 situation. Let's start with the agriculture and allied sector. So this 85% of Indian farm household belongs to small and marginal farmers. So these people are dependent upon the small loans which they take from the banks or from the informal market, and they use they're dependent on the market, government support, and on the present condition of this climatic condition. So the problem happened in this COVID situation. Harvest and threshing of rabi crops were falling down. The reason behind, due to the lockdown, wheat, gram, mustard, all this were the crops which has been developed in the market. They were not able to be threshed and harvested by the farmers. So a report says that 10% of non-harvesting was there reported, and 60% of loss was done to the farmers. So similarly, if we see the tea export, it has fallen to 33%. India is one of the prime exporter of tea, and if we compare with the last year March 2019 figure, 33% of downfall has been found. So all this happened. Why this happened? This happened due to the lockdown and disruption in the supply chain management. Overall lockdown in India and even outside the countries are not allowing the other countries to move their goods in. So due to this situation, so finally perishable goods were that cannot be stored, and even the this cold storage, they are also full to their capacity. They can't be utilized. So this problem happened to the farmers. They had to throw away their perishable goods, the vegetables, the fruits. They were thrown away. They didn't have the market. So this was the major problem faced by they didn't have the money to invest. So finally, government has started playing the role, and they have connected the farmer to the mandi, the market yard. So the whatever harvesting has been done, it has been connected to the various market yards in order to timely accrual of it. So what are the other things? What are the package reliefs which Indian government has provided to this primary sector? Recently, we have seen that government has provided 1.7 trillion, 1.7 lakhs crore rupees of package to the agriculture sector. And this PM Kishan scheme, the direct benefit scheme, has been transferred to the marginalized farmers. Though this seems to be pity, but it is helpful for the farmers for earning their livelihood. Raising the wage rate, the Manrega wage rate has been increased from 220 rupees, from 182 to 202 rupees, and the guarantee is provided by the farmers. And recently we have heard about the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So this Yojana has been brought by the PM in order to look after all the farmers who have migrated from one state to another. So these are the marginalized laborers who has been affected due to this lockdown. They are looking after, the government is looking after them by this. And cash and food assistance has been provided to the laborers and all other people who are affected due to the lockdown for the next 3 months of the time. And moratorium on crop loans has been provided with the bank institution up to the, and 3% concession is provided up to the loan of 3 lakhs. So these are the few in this reliefs given by the government. What are the challenges faced by secondary sectors? I will bring up some of the secondary sectors. We'll talk about the auto industry. So auto industry was already lacking behind during the last year in 2019. If you see, lots of packages, stimulating packages were given by the finance minister to the auto industry, but still it was lagging behind. The major reason was coming up of BS6 implementation. Other manufacturing units which were having BS5 model of this engines, that was not allowed now. BS6 was the new engine models. That was one of the government restriction. And apart from it, GST was also one of the reason. But I would like to bring how they are facing the problem. They are facing the problem due to the lack of innovation. This auto industry is facing the problem not due to the lack of demand or lack of this BS6 or lack of GST. They are facing due to the lack of innovation. I will give you the example of innovation, how this happened. One Chinese company known as MG Hector that came last year in India. and it is like a British alignment company. It has a partnership with the British company, and it has launched its motor in last year, and that Chinese company was able to gain the booking in advance, from all the Indian people. What's the reason? Other companies like Indian companies like Maruti and other lagging behind. Why this MG Hector has gained so much? So the reason comes from innovation. They have innovated their car. They have brought features of artificial intelligence by unlocking the key or monitoring your car engines, your health of car engine. You can monitor by the app base and all, and the performance is more. So these are the innovation people are liking. And if you see the recent, this was the last year situation. If you see the COVID situation, you have heard about the feature of Maruti. They were not able to sell even a single car in the last 2 months. So I will come with the figure of Hyundai Creta. Hyundai Creta has launched its new version, and it has crossed 21,000 mark. It has crossed 21,000 marks of booking, and the variant lies the motor this car lies between the SUV lies between 9.9 lakhs to 17.20 lakhs. And why this 21,000 in the situation? You may think that in this COVID situation also people are booking even after the job loss, even after all the negative situation sentiments. How this is possible that Hyundai Creta has been able to? The answer is innovation. Hyundai Creta has a powerful motor, brand, and innovation of AI, artificial intelligence, that he has brought in the same thing. So other companies need to learn from this. Okay, so this was about the auto industry. Coming over around the pharma industry. If we look after the pharma industry, India pharma industry is well known all around the world. You might have heard about during the COVID situation, this Trump, US president, he was dependent on India for the delivery of hydrochloroquine tablets during March, I think, March, April. So other countries like Australia, France, Spain, they were heavily dependent on India. This was the proud moment for India, but the restriction was placed by the Indian government in order to export all this medicine due to the huge requirement in India itself. So India on the better social background, and they looked into this matter, and they lifted the ban, and they supplied all this required pharmaceutical and drugs to the other countries who were developed and even the developing and underdeveloped. All the three categories they supply. A few of them they have supplied free of cost. And just a minute. So few of them they have supplied the. So finally, what's the situation of pharma industry? The pharma industry is heavily dependent on China. For why they are heavily dependent? China has the capacity. They are dependent on the raw materials. Like what India does, they bring the raw material from China, and 85% of this raw material known as active pharmaceutical ingredients (API). This is a this is a kind of R&D which is required for the manufacturing of all the drugs, whether it's a paracetamol, antibiotics, or all. So 85% they are dependent on China. It doesn't mean that India doesn't have capacity. India has capacity, but it has not utilized it. The reason behind, what is the reason why it has not utilized? Because China was able to exploit the economy of scale. They have cheap labors. They use it, and they supply the same ingredient in the very low manner, in the very low cost. And if the same API is formulated in India, it is way costly. So that's the reason India is too much dependent on China. So now this dependency has to be taken over, because the things are now moving ahead. The China-India relation, you can see, and even the sentiments are going negative all around the world. So recent example I will give about the Glenmark. Glenmark has manufactured tablet FebiFlu, which has been launched 2-3 days back, And you will be glad to know that this API has been discovered, developed in India itself. It is developed in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, Baddi region. So we have the this unit plants, but they are not utilized at the full capacity. Till now, they have been utilized up to 25 to 30% capacity because we are dependent have China. So now they have developed this FabiFlu tablet in order to treat mild and moderate corona. Though there is no foolproof treatment for corona, but this FabiFlu is developed, and the tablet costs 103 rupees per tablet. So this is one of the development of India. And if we talk about the India fuel demand, in April 2020, it has fallen 46%, up to 46% if you compare with the last year. And this consumption of fuel is lowest since 2007. And the cooking gas has risen. The sales of cooking gas has rose. The reason behind all the people are within the lockdown, so it rose to 12%. And a company, International Energy Agency, says that annual fuel consumption will decline to 5.6% in 2020. So this is the overall pharma and energy sector. Coming to the solar power sector, this solar power, again, India is heavily dependent upon for the raw materials, for the solar panels, cells, and modules on China. Around 80% of the things are imported from China. So this is also one of the setback for India solar power industry. If you talk about the retail industry, it contributes to 10% to India's GDP and 8% to overall employment. So this industry has faced a situation due to the labor shifting from one city to another. So they are facing the labor crunch now. This is the major problem. Though demand is high, the consumer demand is high. The production match of supply chain, and this has created the loss. So coming towards the tertiary sector talks about the service sector. So the huge loss is to the tourism and hospitality sector. Why? If you talk in the figures, tourism sector contributes towards 20 lakhs crores of towards GDP, 10% of GDP. So if India's GDP is 200 lakhs crores, 10% of this money is contributed by tourism and hospitality. So this has come to the halt. Now, tourism from last 3 months, whether we talk about the domestic tourism or foreign tourism, inbound tourism, this has come to the halt. And this is India facing too much crunch. Aviation sector, if you talk about the aviation, airlines, airplanes, so it contributes up to 33,000 crores and it supports 1.7 million jobs. Lots of people from the frontline employees to the pilots, even they have lost the job, not only in India, also in the world. Yesterday, I was listening to one of the news, one Taiwan or I think Taiwan it was Thailand or Taiwan. So one pilot has been earning 4.5 lakhs per month in Indian rupees. He is out of the job and now he is supplying the daily need. He has become a kind of grocery and store supplier in order to earn money. So this is the situation happening. Aviation sector is facing the heat. Aviation sector, people are like avoiding to go from one place to another. Now it has been opened, but still it's facing the heat. E-commerce is on rise, though it has been restricted by government during the lockdown. Only the essential products were allowed to be sent from one place to another. But now it's on rise. Everything has been, even the grocery, the products like daily needs products are sold by this e-commerce industries, Amazon, Flipkart, and even the companies, food retail companies, online food retail companies like Zomato, Swiggy, they also moved into this business. So this was one of the hope for them. Now, what are the silver linings? If you talk about the opportunity after COVID-19, how this movement has gained for some of the people. Let's move ahead and discuss about the Jio's investment. Jio, Reliance Jio. So we know about the current situation that 1 lakh crore has been invested in this company. This company has created a history. It has been launched last 3 years. It was launched, and no one knows that it will create a disruption in the market, telecommunication market of India. Earlier, Airtel was having the highest brand, but this Jio has taken over this. Now it has providing the services low at the cheap cost, and now if we see what is happening, the oil investment is going down. The global oil cost is moving down. So Geo is looking after the data. So the smart move has led into the foreign direct investment by Facebook, Silver Lake, Vista Equity, General Atlantic, to name a few. These are the few companies, and the companies come from various countries like US, France, Australia, Saudi Arab, Dubai. These are the countries which are investing in Geo. Now, foreign exchange reserves during this time has increased. It has increased. Now, the current foreign exchange reserve is US dollar 507.644 billion. So, what is the good news about it? The good news is that now India has the foreign reserve in order to pay the debts and in order to pay the import duties and all the import bills. So, though we need to worry because debts are rising, but we have the reserve. Now, next is education moving online. So it has created everyone. Those who were not tech savvy, they have become tech savvy. And the companies which were in India, the major education companies which are online, it is Byju's. One of the companies, Byju's, Bangalore based. And if you look about other companies which are already in the market, the foreign companies, they are edX and Udemy and many others. So there is a rise in the online education. The people, the education industry, whether it's a school, whether it's a college, whether it's a company, they have adopted this. Now I know many people, the freelancers. Where is the scope behind the freelancers? They are earning in the lakhs of rupees. They are earning in the lakhs of rupees by taking online classes and delivering the lectures to 100 or 200 people. And the amount which they charge, they range between 500 to 2,000 to 5,000 rupees per course module. Similar attempts are being made by the education industry. The colleges are coming up with the crash courses. They're trying to bring the students online. And this is a good news, but apart from it, we can't heavily depend on this online education, because classroom is the essence of need. The personal touch is required. The teacher is required to explain the concept. There are certain technical glitches online. There is a limitation of online. So we don't need to heavily depend on the online education. The mixed approach can be adopted. I will give one example. Zoom. Zoom is a company which is owned by Eric Yuan, and he's a Chinese person, but he's based in US. And this company heavily increased its business to 112%. And the current valuation, it comes to $7.57 billion. So this is the present growth era of online education. The Zoom platform is a meeting platform. So jobs are becoming smart. If we see that people are more and more companies, service sectors. In case of service sectors, more and more companies are adopting work from home technology. They are paying their work. Even you will be surprised to know the recruitments are also happening online, and the induction process is also happening online. The person is the selected person is sitting back at home, and they're introduced to the company's CEOs and other managers online itself. So this is a new trend coming up. TCS has said that in the next coming 2 years, they will move 90% of their employee online. So this is the next trend which are coming. If we see about the entertainment industry, entertainment industries like the growth of OTT platforms, online this entertainment platforms like Netflix, this Prime Video, and many others, Amazon Prime. These are the companies which has increased their valuation. Within the lockdown, you might have heard that the bandwidth were the government requested the companies to reduce their bandwidth. YouTube, if you are surfing from the mobile, the bandwidth was reduced due to the pressure on it. So finally, the company is the movie. Movies like one of the movies like recent movies of Amitabh Bachchan, it was launched on OTT platform, Amazon Prime, and one more movie which had to be launched, 150 lakhs. It was purchased of one. The license was purchased for 150 lakhs. Happen that for the next or few months or few years, we will stop visiting the halls, cinema halls, and the cinema halls will come to our place, in our office, in our home. So next, textile innovation. Recently, 2-3 days back, I heard a news that now Gujarat textile industry and many industry which were exporting the products, they are now making antibacterial and antiviral clothes. This is the new demand. This is the new innovation. Now, if you wear this type of clothes, now the chances of wearing the PPE kits is not required. Means I think it is a next trend. More innovation is required, more development is required. Government has approved this antibacterial and antiviral clothes. Now the company like Arvind Mills, they are manufacturing it. And even the product line extension, we can see the companies which were manufacturing the clothes, jeans, trousers, garments. Now they have taken permission from the government and they are manufacturing 2, 3 ply, 4 ply masks. And companies who are and other things, they have increased their they have like producing the sanitizers. Even our this industry stars like Salman Khan, he has launched the sanitizer with the brand name Refresh. PPT, now PPT industry, Indian industry was heavily dependent on China. And you will be surprised to know that after getting the approval from World Bank, now it is the exporter of PPE kit. India is exporting the PPE kit to the required countries, all other countries, not importing it. Pharma industry growth. Pharma industry growth, we have seen that Oxford University, they have collaborated with the Indian pharmaceutical industry for making up this COVID-19 vaccine. And already it's implemented. What's the risk behind it? The risk is being taken by that investor, the CEO. They are taking risk and they are manufacturing lakhs of doses, and the lakhs of doses are already being manufactured in the labs in Hyderabad and other places in India. So this pharma industry of India is too reliant, and all other countries cease to India. FDI in India, if we talk, so China negative sentiments has led to big brands to come in India. Now, if we look into the countries, many countries like Germany, Japan has already started moving away their companies from China. Why it is happening? This is all about the negative sentiments made in the China due to this COVID-19 situation. So India sees the benefit of it. So one company like Von Elks, German-based shoe company, already they have planned to shift in India, in Agra, invest in 110 crores. Many others are in line, but the policies and the things to be improved for bringing the companies in India. That's the bottleneck. So next, if we look into the global oil impact, it was a new surprise. The oil price was that went negative. The oil price went negative. How it can be possible? The reason behind, there is no demand. The other countries like Russia, who produce the oil, and the Arabian countries, all this, they had made this possible. They were worried. Now even the US is also producing the oil. Now India has gained this momentum. They have to store it. This condition is known as strategic petroleum reserve. So India used to store 20 to 30% of its crude oil requirement for a year. They are building up a new storage unit, and they are also trying to rent up the units in US itself. They are trying to rent up the units in US itself in order to store this crude oils. So if you look into the crude oil import, the figure says that India imported 228.6 million tons of crude oil during 2018-19 and spent 8.81 lakhs crores. This is the huge amount. So this is the dependency of oil, crude oil dependency of India. Now next, ecosystem and pollution control. So
You speak whether it is not working also. And can anyone add?
Sir, some problem is there, I think.
Why?
May not be able to complete your request time because we are currently having problem connecting to the network. నెట్వర్క్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వలేదు ఏ నెట్వర్క్ మీదా అరే నువ్వు ఈ హాట్స్పాట్
చాలా ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది నెట్వర్క్ కూడా అందరూ వాడుతున్నారు కదా
చాలా వస్తుంది వస్తుంది
వస్తుంది చూపు వస్తుందా చూపు వస్తుంది
option.
you can see that the pollution level dropped by 16%. So these are the overall situation. Thanks for listening to me. I hope I have been able to give you the insight of this COVID and the opportunities.
4 hours వరకు వస్తాను.
Thank you.
Sir, it was very excellent, sir, listening to you. Oh, what a updated things you have said, sir. I'm going to tell you one thing what you have said that was very excellent, like Maruti could not sell a single car and Hyundai Creta 21,000. In this COVID situation also, they are going with this sales means, that is innovation, as you said. This is very powerful, sir. That is, they are going into artificial intelligence. Normally we know about the human beings, they have to think and the machines have to work, but rather what is happening here is nowadays is machine started thinking and man is started working. So that is the greatness of artificial intelligence nowadays is going, sir. It is very excellent. Now I request Dr. Jimmy Cotton, sir, Head Department of Economics, to continue with the proceedings.
Thank you very much, sir. For it was a really prolific lecture on your side, and you have vividly explained our participants, and you have given a comprehensive knowledge on the impact of COVID virus on the several areas of the Indian economy. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I sincerely request.
Thanks for the invitation, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here as an audience now.
Yes, yes. It was very profound lecture, sir,
8
from your
program,
side.
sir.
Now I request
Yes, sir.
Shailesh sir to read the
We have
profile
started
of
from
the
February, sir.
third research
February
person,
5th,
Dr.
it
Shankar
was the
Mukherjee,
inaugural, sir.
Assistant Professor, Bengaluru School of Management Studies, System University. I invite
Yes, sir. They have
Shailesh sir,
allotted, sir.
pharmacy faculty.
Hello.
Means
Yeah,
Ek
Shailesh
Bharat,
sir.
Shresth Bharat,
You
they
can
have
go
allotted,
ahead. Read the profile of Dr. Shankar
Sri
Mukherjee,
Guru
sir.
Jambheshwar University, Science and Technology, Haryana. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are audible. You can go ahead.
Yes, sir. 8 number of programs, sir.
You can go ahead, sir.
Like we have
Rahul Bajaj, sir, in charge Vice Chancellor, Palamur University, respected patron, Professor Pindi Pawan Kumar, sir, Registrar, Palamur University, and respected chairman sir, Dr. M. Nujahan madam, principal, University PG College, and also our placement officer, Dr. S.N. Arjun Kumar sir, Palamuru University, our convener of this program, Dr. Gadam Jimmy Cotton sir, HOD, Department of Economics, organizing members, Dr. B. Raghavendra and B. Raghavendra sir. It is a it is indeed a pleasure and it is a pride for me to present curriculum vitae of Shankar Mukherjee sir. Dr. Shankar Mukherjee sir is working as an assistant professor in Geetam University and is also a researcher in social sciences. He has been having with 12 years of experience in corporate world, and also his corporate experience has been blended with academics and research. He has been associated with one of the multinational companies such as Wipro, Colgate, Reliance, Communications, Dabur, Bharti Airtel before he has been stepped into the academics. Mr. Shankar has published many articles in national level as well as in international journals. He is also an SAP consultant with academic degree in MBA, MPhil and PhD courses, and also is the founder member of leadership platform called as Wisdom Mania platform to impart leadership trait among the students and management aspirants, and is also a social activist and environmentalist. Now, may I request Dr. Shankar Mukherjee sir to please and continue the session.
Hello. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Shailesh sir, for reading the profile of Dr. Shankar Mukherjee sir. Now I request Dr. Shankar Mukherjee sir, Assistant Professor, Bengaluru School of Management Studies, Geetam University, to give deep insights regarding the impact of COVID virus on Indian economy. Now, Dr. Shankar Mukherjee sir, you can go ahead. Shankar Mukherjee, you can go ahead. Yeah, Shankar, you are audible.
ఇక్కడ నీ ఫోన్ అది కనెక్ట్ చేద్దాం హాట్స్పాట్ ఇది పెట్టినాం అయిపోయింది. ఇంకేం జిమ్మి వీఆర్ టు ద ఎండ్.
ఏమైందో స్పీకర్ అండి. Hello, Shankar sir. Hello. Hello. Shankar, what happened?
I'm speaking, you are not listening.
Yeah, you are not audible.
Is it audible now?
Not. Huh? Okay, you can continue, no problem. You can continue. Okay.
Is it
Yeah, it is audible. It is audible. Speak. Continue.
ఏడో వస్తుంది
అలా చెప్పేది బ్రో, మనకు వస్తలేదు మేము అనుకుని మన దగ్గర ప్రాబ్లమ్
అంతేనా?
వస్తుందా? శంకర్ అది స్టార్ట్ చేసిందా?
అదే మీరు మాట్లాడేది వినిపిస్తుంది కదా, నువ్వు మాట్లాడేది వినిపిస్తుంది. వాట్ ఎవర్ యు ఆర్ స్పీకింగ్ ఇట్స్ లిజనింగ్. అట్లా కాదు బాస్.
Shankar, your voice is not audible. Yeah, your voice is not audible. Yeah, your voice is not audible in that webinar. You see, you check.
వీడు ఆన్ ఎందుకు చేసుకుంటాడు శైలేష్ గారు? ఆఫ్ చేసుకుంటా ఆన్ చేసి
No.
అవన్నీ వినిపిస్తున్నాయి మాకు.
No, no, not it.
Just hold on.
అన్న ఏం వినపడతలేదా? నువ్వు దీంట్లో కనెక్ట్ చేస్తే నేను శంకర్తో మాట్లాడేది వినపడుతుంది బావా. ఇప్పుడు నేనేం చేద్దాం శంకర్తో నేను నీకు ఇష్టం.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you speak, Shankar. You speak.
Audible.
Hello.
It's audible. You speak.
Speak,
Yes,
speak.
you speak.
Am I audible to
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Continue.
Okay. Hello. Good
Yes.
afternoon to all. Hello.
Nadi unmute అయితే.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir, please.
Okay. Sorry for technical glitch. Now I want to give sincere thanks to all of you to provide me such a wonderful opportunity to share and to leverage my experience and my acumen with all of you about COVID under the aspect of COVID pandemic. Let me try to say one thing which Dr. Tiwari sir has told, that COVID Kranti. I will start with the COVID Kranti, and I will try to focus more on aspect of Indian economy and its opportunity. I always believe, and it has been substantially proven across the world in all fraternity, that necessity is the mother of invention, and as well as there is an opportunity in adversity. COVID is nothing but an adversity that is being faced in micro and macro economy both. But
It is connected. అరే పోయింది.
guys, I will not go to more about data centric or TPT centric lecture, which have already given by Tiwari sir and Asutosh Pandey. They have narrated the things very articulately over Indian economy and the impact of COVID and subsequent impact. I will just give you few data before I proceed about GDP of Indian economy. I will go back a few decades wise that GDP or year-wise GDP. 2016, our GDP was 8.17, which is 0.17% over the corresponding period. 2017, 7.17. 2018, 6.81. 2019, it's again has dropped, and it is the lowest in 2000, beginning of 2020. And it was in 1979 it was minus 5.2%, and in the first quarter on 2018 it was reached to the highest level of 11.40%. But there is a point to be noted, that in the GDP we are going $3 trillion economy. We are going to be $5 trillion economy, as everybody is saying. But in terms of purchase power parity and also in terms of per capita income, we are well behind of all developed nations. Our per capita income is $7,680. If we compare in Pakistan, which is considered the most poorest nation, their per capita income is $5,860. So when we are talking about GDP, and we always believe that GDP is the indicator of growth for any economics, on the same time, we have seen in per capita income, we are not at par with the other developed economy. Look at Luxembourg, look at Switzerland, look at Sweden, look at Norway, the Scandinavian country, look at their per capita income and human development index. Both this Norway has been standing top 10 in human development index. And their per capita income is far more than that. Even they have supersede US also, which is the most developed and which is the most powerhouse of the economy. So I would like to ask you to invest some time with me today, particularly the student and the others fraternity, to think on this aspect. When we are talking about economic growth, we always keep GDP in place. We always measure ourselves with GDP. But when GDP is divided by our population, it's some per capita income. Even in the purchase power parity also, we are not at par which is being expected. So my question is that, which was raised by Manmohan Singh when he started the economic reform under the able hand of P.V. Narasimha Rao in 1992, that the objective of economy is what? I would like to ask all of you to think once again and try to explore the objective of economics, be it microeconomy or macroeconomy. The objective of economy is to empower people. The objective of economy is to provide more purchase power to the people. They can purchase more. If they purchase more, the demand will create. If a demand will create, supply will generate. If demand and supply will go hands in hand, that the money circulation will be much more in the economic circle, and from the measurement of inflation, we need to control so that people don't lose the extra money they get enjoy. This is the fundamental basic points of economy. Raghuram Rajan has recently stated what Thierry sir has just told, it's an economic emergency. I think we are putting or pressing that the panic button. The fundamental of Indian economy is very strong, but which need to cater and which need to care more. But the main point which I want to emphasize today, that GDP, if we consider GDP, we may not measure the fruit of economic reform which was started in 1992. Because in that told that and when he was the prime minister, he told one thing, that still we have unable to reach the inclusiveness of economy. There is a concept of inclusive growth. Is GDP is the parameter, but can GDP create the inclusive growth? This is $1 million question to offer us. So I mean to say, COVID is a factor. COVID cannot stop us. I am very opportunist in this aspect, because COVID has created more opportunity than that of create the panic button. Many people from economics to other common man, they and student, everybody are talking, we are in a turmoil. Yes, we are in a turmoil. But tell me one thing, where you invent? Invention cannot happen. Creativity cannot arise until or unless you are in danger. That will create that opportunity to you. There is a concept all we know called jugaad. It's nothing but a frugal innovation. In IIM Ahmedabad, when I was there as a student, I met one person, and all you know, he has created a big brand called Mitti Kul, the Prajapati enterprise. In his village in Rajasthan, there was no electricity. But when he was trying to start his own venture, but he found in his village, there was no electricity. How can I start a factory? Now that was his adversity. He converted into opportunity. How? He started product by made of clay, and he has given a brand name called Mitti Kul. And then he started exporting that product across the world. Now his turnover has reached to the 2,000 crores. So, my dear friend, to all today, take some time off and think, does COVID put Indian economy on stress, or COVID will give a big thrust, a big boost to Indian economy in future? Now, to do that, when you are in danger, you will invent. And Kranti will come. Professor Tiwari sir has rightly told, it's a COVID Kranti. Professor Ashutosh Pandey has rightly told that we should not look down. We should proceed towards a positive thinking. Now, how we can make these things happen? That's the $1 million question. Already Prime Minister has declared that 20 lakhs crore package to make India as a Atmanirbhar Bharat. There is a two India we all know. One is India, which is urban India, and another is rural India, which is Bharat. This Bharat and India should join hands. If we don't empower what Mahatma Gandhi told long back, India lives in a village. If we can't look back, the economy of inclusiveness by providing the benefit and the power of purchase to the rural economy or the rural consumer, rural household, it will never come back in the growth trajectory. So this is the opportunity. COVID, now I will like to stress upon, think of that. Professor Ashutosh Pandey has told primary, secondary. We provide our ecosystem. We provide a chain where the ease of doing business, where the confidence we need to build among the rural mass. This is what C.K. Prahlad told. The bottom line of the pyramid, consume more, way back. He has shown the multinational company that your product is consumed by most of the people who are staying on the bottom line of the pyramid. So rural people, the marginalized people, the downtrodden, the underprivileged who are staying on the bottom line of our ecosystem of economics, they need to be empowered. Abhijit Vinayak Banerjee, recent Nobel laureate, Amartya Sen, another Nobel laureate from India, Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel Peace winner, an economist, all are advocating on one thing, that we need to empower people. We need to give them fund. We need to give them extra money to spend. So under the COVID situation, everybody gets panic stricken. That now there are two parts in economy, all we know. One part is consuming and one part is savings. Even savings helps to consuming also. What is happening right now in India, people are afraid, people are worried to spend. They are thinking that if we earn 100 rupees per day, we need to save as much as we can, because future is not bright to us. That's we need to build up that confidence by providing another 100 rupees to them. Abhijit Vinayak Banerjee recently has told that forget CAT, current account deficit, forget inflation, forget IIP, index of industrial production. Consider that the bottom line of the pyramid should be provided enough surplus money. There is a scheme which was initiated by Raghuram Rajan along with Rahul Gandhi in way back, that Operation Nyay. That was a universal scheme. Universal scheme was given. Many countries has initiated that scheme to provide some amount every month to the underprivileged people. That creates another economy. That's create not only it's not only giving them money, it's only giving them power. It's only empowering them with the confidence of spending much more. So this is not to me, this is not the time to look for new investment or disinvestment. We need to shift our program from disinvestment to investment. Now, I have been seeing that that many government has taken many disinvestment measure under this COVID situation, where the strategical disinvestment is being happening. LIC has been disinvested. Many public sector units have been disinvestment. That should be because some of the people, some of the economic things, government's duty is not to involve or indulge into business. Government is for the people, to the people, by the people. I mean to say here, when 1930, there was a big recession happened. 1939, Second World War, it took 10 to 15 years to give the economy again reshaped. But if we compare in 1907, in subprime crisis in US, which was predicted by Raghuram Rajan in his research, that US market can be in doldrums because the people are playing with subprime assets. It's actually happened 2007. So every bank, investment bank, they were in bankruptcy. The president of US, Obama, what did he in that time? He has pumped extra money, stimulus package he has given. It has been taken for 5 to 6 years to come back. So we are not in 1930s, we are in 2020. And world has become a small village. Remember, if anything happened in Greece and Cyprus, within a second, it is affecting our share market. So, within our own interest, we need to put this economy into the mainstream. And remember, I would like to tell one thing. It is not a natural calamity. We have not control over the nature. Nature, it is unpredictable. When nature, the catastrophic effect will come and destroy us, devastate us, ransack us, we don't know. But economy is nothing but a man-made procedure. If we think we want to revive our economy, we can do, because government has the power to print currency. I am not talking about, yes, if currency is being printed, that is lead to inflation. That's okay. But this is not the time to see about current account deficit. If we want to get rid of from this situation, we need to empower people. We need big investment from government sector. Government should come and provide the basic necessity and the confidence to the bottom line of the pyramid. The major problem that nobody many people are concerned. Now I am going to tell you few things about Indian economy that is also an opportunity. That if we can get rid of from this problem, we can create an economy of powerhouse. Remember, the major part of economy, the objective of economy is to consume. The purchase power parity, the propensity to purchase need to be improved. Now, we are talking about GDP. When the 8% GDP growth rate, India was the fastest growing economy, superseding China. We are standing world 5th largest economy. We are going to be $5 trillion economy. Everything is okay. Does it mean that every Indian people have going the inclusive growth? Has they purchased? Do they purchase? Now look at the 135 crores of people. If their purchasing power gets improved and they start purchasing, if rural peoples purchase more and spend more than urban people, what will happen to us? Do we want to depend on any country? No. Mao Zedong, who has started this initiative in 1980, what is China today? What Mao Zedong told in 1980, that not to, it is a were very much reluctant to take private capital. But what Mao Zedong told, that we need not to see the color of the rat, we should chase the rat. So China started in 1980 and they created a hub. What hub? A economic hub, a manufacturing hub, and they have already started taking control of world economy. When we talk about anything in India, we are going by China's product. Now the Prime Minister has taken a new initiative to eradicate this thing, that is Make in India, and if we start developing our indigenous product with 135 crores population, what will be a turnaround? Look at that. That we need to empower the 135 crores people. So I mean to say, to eradicate these things, to empower the 135 crores people, we need to shift our policy making from capitalist economy or privatized economy to the socialistic economy. I am advocating socialism in economy. Inequality to become equality. Recent Oxfam report I am sharing with you,
Power rapid
that few of the report, 10% of Indian population holds 77% of total national wealth. 73% of wealth in 2017 has been occupied by 1% of rich people. 67 millions of the bottom line of the pyramid, only they improve their 1% wealth. 119 people became billionaire in India in 2020, whereas only 9 billionaire in 2000. 17 new millionaire every day India is producing. Top 10% of Indian population holds 77% of total national wealth. Look at the figure. 73% of wealth generated in 2017 went to the richest of 1%, while 67% millions Indians who comprised their poorest half of the population saw only 1% increase their wealth. The more alarming figure, 941 days for a minimum wage
Shankar sir, try to
workers in rural India to earn what the top paid executive will get. So in a whole, we can see there is a big inequality to us. If we really, COVID is not a threat to us. What is threat to us? The inequality and non-inclusiveness of growth. COVID will provide more opportunity to healthcare sector, to FDI investment, which Asutosh ji has told rightly, inflow of from FDI from China. If Japan can complete, look at one thing before I conclude. In Japan, people know how to sanitize from class 1. We don't know. We don't keep this habit of sanitization. Now, rural people are sanitizing their hands. Rural people are developing their habit of sanitization. This will empower and this will eradicate many disease, waterborne disease tomorrow. The labor force will be more healthy. They will get more productivity. This is only happened because of this COVID. So COVID is not a bane. COVID is a boon. And I hope this will create a big opportunity for Indian economy in future. I want to conclude with a Sanskrit sloka, which was given by Shiva Mahastatram, Vaichitrang Ruchinang Driju, Kutila Nana Patho Jushang, Ninameko Gamastasi, Tang Hi Bhuvarchana. The meaning of the Sanskrit sloka is where the rivers flow from mountain to the terrain, it's create different stream, but actually it's the confluencing on the river. So Indian economy may have a topsy-turvy right at this moment, but it will going to, in a big way, Jumbo will dance. So where the mind is without fear, where the health is high, where the knowledge is free. We will conquer, we shall overcome one day.